Surprise live. All right. Looks like it's delayed. Oh, well. Anybody out there? I'm too lazy to do a video today. Let me get this microphone situated. I don't use it very. I got a better microphone. I just haven't hooked it up. I got a Shure microphone. Are we coming in? Anybody out there? We'll give it a minute. It's saying I'm live on both channels. I hope so. I don't think anybody's in there. It says there's 10 people. There's some people. I know. I didn't tell anybody. I just went live. But I may have to interrupt the live because Rooster hasn't went out yet. So I might have to put her out. If I do, I'll just get out of the chair and go put her out. Camera looks crooked. Let me get around this. Get the camera straight. I guess you'll just have to deal with that. Well, we got a few people coming in. 47 people. Get a few more people in. I'll tell you why I'm doing this. Does it even matter? Can't I do what I want to do because it's like my channel. Okay, both my channels. There we go. Now I think we're straight. I've got you at an angle because my desk is a mess, man. Let me get a drink of coffee while you people come in. I got my Scooby-Doo cup, my mystery machine. That's pretty good. I shouldn't be drinking coffee at 12:17. Where's Lily? Lily has been acting very weird the last 24 hours. She wants to be outside, and I don't want her outside. It's horrible out there. So I went out this morning, and everything that had melted yesterday had frozen solid. It is a sheet of ice. You can't even, I had to go mail something, put something in my mailbox. I couldn't get 5 feet. It was so slippery. And I've got my truck parked on the hill, so I've been keeping an eye on it. I can't get up the hill. This has turned out to be a lot worse than I could have imagined. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have it a lot worse than I do, but I can't function out there. It's just ice. And 40 degrees today. I don't think it's going to do much, but they have cleared the road. They came by with a big plow and put about a 2-foot berm in front of my driveway. So if I want to get out again, I'm going to have to shovel that berm out of there. They don't know how to deal with that here. 115 people. So I didn't want to be outside filming a video. Didn't really have any ideas. So I figured I'd just do a live on both channels at the same time. So I at least get something out there. Maybe you guys can ask me some questions. Let me turn my monitor where I can, oh yeah, I didn't know it's swing on. That's cool. I get it. Yeah, old tilts and swings and everything. Yeah, look at that. I got you, and I can look at the camera and the chat's right there. Why didn't I think of that last time, man? Because you're dummy. You're dummy, man. Beautiful weather in Wyoming. Yeah, you guys should be having this weather, and we should be having the weather you're having. You can't even walk out there. I don't have any footwear that is capable of walking in ice. And no, I am not going to invest in that because we don't get it that often. 37 degrees out there. It's not terribly cold. It's just at that point where it's not going to melt much. Rooster doesn't even want out. But if she does, I'll have to get up out of the chair and go put her whole stoop out there and put her jacket on. Come here, Rooster. She knows the camera's on. She knows I'm not over here talking to myself. Brad is in Little Rock. Man, I haven't been to Little Rock in probably 10 years. When I worked at the pawn shop, the boss was having heart trouble, and I had to take him there for appointments. And yeah. The video there. Did I lose you guys, or was that on my end? I don't know. Okay, we're back. I clicked something that I shouldn't have clicked. Come on now. Haven't you ever done that in your life? Click something you shouldn't have clicked? Acting like, I'll tell you what, you people sometimes. -2 in northern Iowa. What's supposed to be? I lived in northern Iowa before. Where at northern Iowa are you? Angel, yeah, you just scrolled past. I didn't see you, but I caught that part of your name. Okay, but we're back up now, right? I ain't touching nothing. How come there's no music playing in this live, man? Wonder if you can even do that. I think so. I don't like watching those lives where they do all that fancy stuff and got all these pictures and all this crap scrolling across the bottom. Ain't nobody wants to see that. 70 in Palm Beach. I've been in Palm Beach this time of year. Yes, Palm Beach Gardens. So I know exactly where you are. Well, thanks for loving my channel. Well, I guess if any of you have any questions, this is a good time to ask away, but just keep them, decent. You don't need to know what kind of toilet paper I use or things like that. K-Girl's mom, hello. 14 degrees in Ma. Is that Massachusetts or Maine? What is Maine? M-A is Maine? It's supposed to be 14 degrees in Maine. Don't be in here. Don't come on in my live complaining that it's 14 in Maine. I'll tell you what. Sweden. It's supposed to be cold there, isn't it? I lived in Delray for 15 years. I lived in Delray too. I know. You guys are like, you've been everywhere. Actually, I lived in Delray, Laver Circle. Yeah. I walked from Boca to Delray every single day. It was like 4.5 miles each way. Worked 12 hours or more and then walked back home. And it was nice. Them nighttime walks were nice. When are we getting to 100K? I don't know. I wasn't even going to do a video today because I can't even go outside. You can't walk. And there's Lily. She's out there. If I could show you the camera, I'm not touching nothing. She's got one dry spot and she just wants to be out there. And I'm afraid for her to be walking on that ice, but I can't lock her in. But she's doing all right. I've lived in all them places that are warm and the places that were cold. Anywhere you go, you got to deal with something. There is a price for everywhere you live. Maybe you have a low cost of living, but the weather's cold, or you have a high cost of living and the weather's good. So I know what all them places are like. I guess where I'm at now is kind of in between. So I don't mind it. I'm tired of moving around. I ain't doing any more of that. We say that, but you never know what could happen. Wow, 200 people. I didn't even give any notice. I just went live. It will go for a while. I ain't got nothing. I can't do anything. I'm going crazy. Do I plan to do any traveling in the future? Yeah, I'm going to, probably not till they're listening to. Probably not till till I no longer have any pets, if that will ever happen. But I've seen a lot of it. So much of this country. I don't know what I do. I think I do want to go to the desert and check out some of them old mines and mining towns. I watch a lot of those kind of videos, but I want to go out and do that myself. But it depends on how long that from now that is and what kind of shape I'm in. Right now, I feel pretty good, but I would hate to be out in a desert like that alone and my back goes out or something like that. That's the things you got to keep in mind when you're getting older. Yeah, we're going to get cold, but for one day. I can handle that. In fact, I got to switch out propane tanks before tonight comes. And remember to turn on my heater in my well. Tuning in from north of Des Moines. I lived in north of Des Moines. Yeah, I know. Actually, south of Des Moines. I lived in Cumming, Iowa. That's right. They had a bar in that little town, and you could buy a T-shirt that said "I love Cumming," and that's how it was spelled too. Just telling you facts. Loved it there. I loved Iowa. Iowa's easy, slow. I mean, Des Moines is kind of boring. There's not much to do, and it's probably not any different now. But I was married when I lived there, so it was, that was fine. They had some good bars. I went to some bars there, little neighborhood bars. I didn't go to any nightclubs or nothing. No, the ones I want to see, the mining towns and stuff, they're way off the beaten path. I don't like going to stuff that are for tourists where you got all the people with the cameras. I go to places that when I used to go camping, I would go camping in the wilderness. I remember going camping up in northern Minnesota, right on the Canadian line in the Superior National Forest. And I would find places, 4-wheel drive truck, but I would find places nobody camped. And, it's because I don't like regular campgrounds where there's city slickers all in there camping and got their fires blaring till 3 a.m. Like going out and being in the remote wilderness. Don't know if I want to do that now, but lived all over. I like Arkansas, but I am in Indiana, and I liked it very well. I was in Indiana when I was in the military, Fort Benjamin Harrison in Indianapolis, and it was cold. That was one of the coldest winters I remember. That would have been 83 and 84. I think I left there in May of 84. It was just a holdover for when I went to firefighter school. Oh, we're live. Are we? I thought I was recording something. I guess we are live. Where you're in the wood drop. Oh, I don't get what you're asking there, rice and beans. You're in the wood drop where you are. Well, yeah, I mean, where I'm at, there's woods. But trudging through the woods here is a lot different than some other places because you're fighting the briars, and it's almost, if you go to the back of my property in June, you're not walking through there without getting your clothes ripped up and a ton of cuts. Why no cat? I actually had 3 cats when I first bought this place. There was a cat on the property. I named her Sue. Gave her to the neighbor because I knew I already had dogs before I even moved here, and I had to bring my dogs here, and they're not cat. They weren't cat dogs. Another one was Satan. I've got some videos of him. Cats didn't work out for me. I needed the space for dogs, and they get into everything, man. They meow. They just meow for no reason. Dogs don't make a peep. Do I plan to get another pup? I don't know. I don't know. See, you got to look at when you're getting older. You can't predict how long you're going to live. But the last thing I would want was something happen to me and then have dogs that somebody has to deal with. And I don't know if I want to do that. And I want some time, in my last years to be able to travel and do things. Yeah, Rooster, she could go with me places and things, but they've never lived that kind of life. They're just homebodies. Almost 300 people, man, in the middle of the day. She saw the pup with the sweater. Yep, that's Rooster. She's got a new one coming. It's like a wraparound quilted thermal jacket that should fit her better because them things you put on them dogs, they just got little Velcro on the bottom, and you stick them together, and 10 minutes later, it comes loose. She needs something with a buckle where she's not going to come out of it. And she doesn't need it really. She's got a double coat. Double coated dogs don't really need stuff like that. I guess it's to make me feel better, you know. But she don't mind them. She seems to like it. Yeah, they bark. Trust me, they bark. You haven't seen Tilly ever since Billy died. Tilly goes to the front porch right when I'm sitting down for dinner every evening and starts her barking, wanting me to come out and play ball with her because that's something we do every afternoon. Well, since we've had this snow on the ground, I can't do that. Her toys are all buried underneath it. So, you know, hopefully in a few days, I know this stuff will be gone by next week. There's Storm chasing gal from Tulsa. I live there too. That's where I'm from. There in a lot of places, parts of the country, there isn't a lot that I haven't lived in. A lot of them were short term, very short term. I would live somewhere a year or two and get the itch to get out of there. And I was in the kind of work where I could do that. I could just wait a minute, I want to move here, and I'd call up a couple of newspapers. I'd have a job. Can't do that now. Well, I can now because of YouTube. I can do this anywhere. That's the nice thing. And I got lucky with my channels. They did what they're doing well. Who's to say that they won't be gone tomorrow? You don't know. And they're not something you can bank on. But while I'm going to get it while the getting's good. Well, thanks for liking my videos there, Mike. I haven't done any fasting yet. No, I need to. But right now, I mean, there's only so much I can chew. But these things are, the problem is I could chew with them. There's no pain. It's just the bottom ones don't stay where they're supposed to stay. And I think and I don't want to put none of that glue in there yet, I'm going to let them heal up a little more. But once they, I think I'll be able to. I this morning I made some eggs and I put some chili over the eggs, and I took the bottom ones out and left the top ones in, and I could chew that way. So however I can chew, that's how I'm gonna chew. Well, the beginning of the live, you didn't miss nothing. I touched something and the live went off, and you didn't miss nothing. There's no big news here. The only thing you might have missed is it's so icy out there because yesterday we had a big thaw and then it all froze solid. There's probably 3 inches, 2.5, 3 inches of nothing but solid ice. I tried to go to the mailbox, which is downhill. I said, not doing it. Yes, I'm tired of chili. But to stick with carnivore, I have to make chili. Or I have to make stew or something like that. Now, I cheated with my stew. I put some mixed vegetables in there, which is, I've already reached my weight loss goal pretty much. And it didn't affect me. I'm one of them guys that can probably go off the diet a little bit, and it's not going to hurt me. But I'm not putting things in there that are doing damage. And I will eventually go back to, I'll probably just go full keto. You don't have to stick with carnivore 100%. It's something I use for the last 2 years, and I've stayed pretty strict with it. But I'm disciplined enough where I'm not going to let that turn me into something that says, well, if that doesn't bother me, I'm going to go get a loaf of bread. I don't miss those things. I'm not going to do that. Have I tried cheeseburger soup? No. But when I made the beef stew, I used it's called Zoop, Zoup bone broth. It's what my local grocery store has, and it's not cheap, but it's pretty good. And I made some chicken soup out of it and beef stew. I use that pretty much with anything that needs a broth. I was using the cheap broth that you could buy, in the soup section, but it doesn't even compare to bone broth. It doesn't have all the nutrition in it. Would you make a well? Would I make a well? I don't understand what you're saying there. Somebody asked if I would make a video about how I power the well. Is that what you're talking about in a power outage? I haven't had to do that but one time. And it's all I got to do. See, there is a regular outlet in there, 110. And the well pump is plugged into that, and the well light, the heat lamp for the well light is plugged in. There's two outlets. And if the power goes out, I'm just going to pull the generator over there and plug those two. Actually, I have done that a couple of times. Pull the generator or run an extension cord from the generator and plug them into that. And it works fine. But if you don't have an outlet out there, or you're hardwired, like if you're 220, 240, whatever, you probably can't do that. But I don't have a real deep well. It's a shallow well, so I've got the pump outside of the well, so it works. Not worth making a video over, though. But I guess I could include it in one. I could never do the carnivore diet. I love bread way too much. Well, you would just have to cut down on the bread. It's not so much the bread. I don't think it's the kind of bread you eat. If you're buying that stuff in the store, white bread, wheat bread, that stuff's terrible. If you make a sourdough bread, which I've never had, but many people claim that's not bad for you, that would work. Hello from Russia. I wasn't sure if people could in Russia could watch still. I didn't know how that's working. I watch a few channels that are in Russia, and they managed to get it out, but I know you got to jump through some hoops to do it. Yeah, I'm probably going to go to keto. Right now, I'm pretty much limited to carnivore. Which I had ribeye steaks the other day. I just put them in the crock pot, put some bone broth in there, and cooked them all day. And they were so tender, they just dissolved in my mouth. And it gives them a different flavor, too. There goes the plow again. Hey, man, send a tractor and get that crap out of the end of my driveway, because that's like a mountain. There's a guy that's following the plow. It's not even a plow. It's like a big grader. And that's his job, just to follow the plow in a pickup truck. I want that job. Yeah, there's people on here to talk to you about bread. I just eliminated that. I eliminated milk, which you can have milk on the carnivore. I just choose not to do it because I would drink 2.5, 3 gallons of milk a week for years. I love milk, but we don't need milk. Milk is for babies. If you think about it. Yeah, sourdough. Yeah, you got to have them cultures and save a piece of it. And there's a lot of YouTube channels that do that. I ain't going through all that. Here's the bottom line with what I do. I don't look at food anymore as a pleasure. I look at it, this is the hardest part for people. If you can eliminate looking at food as a pleasure and just fuel and think of it as fuel, it's a lot easier, because that's basically all it is. The cavemen, they were lucky, they went out and hunted. They didn't have, caveman mama going, I think we'll saute this today. And they just ate. They probably ate it raw before, they discovered fire. You see me discover fire the other day. I'm a caveman. Yeah, we're going to be in the 60s here. next week. That's going to be like being in Miami. If you eat off planned food, it's not a, man, I just, when I cook, I want it to taste good. Okay. I'm not saying just gulp it down and don't make food with no flavor. You can make it taste good, but you just have to, I would go to the grocery store and, oh, I'm going to make some lasagna and get all these ingredients and then eat on that for a couple of days. And then the next thing would be a big, I do know how to cook very well, but, it's a simple thing now. The simpler, the better. Caveman didn't have diesel. Nope. I had about that much diesel in that yellow diesel can, and I poured it out because with a storm coming that the power could have been out for up to 2 weeks, I wanted as much gasoline as I could get. So I poured out the diesel and filled it with gas. That's why. Otherwise, that's what I use, diesel. Yes, and sugar. Can't have sugar, but I never ate much sugar. But there's so much sugar in everything we eat. You have to, once you go carnivore, you realize that. And it ain't for everybody. It's just what I chose to do, and it helped me. I got off all my medications, and I'm not a big tub of lard anymore. And go sit in the parking lot of a Walmart and just sit there and watch people go in and out. Then go in and see what's in their carts. You'll understand a lot more. And a lot of people don't realize it was never like that before. And it's killing people. The 30-year-olds today probably are not going to live if they're eating those kind of things and drinking these energy drinks and all the soft drinks. They're not going to live that long. Even when I was a kid, nobody went around and drank Pepsi all day. We just didn't do it. That was a treat. We got one as kids. On Saturday, we would get a 16-ounce Coke or whatever it was that they bought, and that was it for the week. Unless we maybe went to a restaurant, then we could order something. But we don't need, and I never really was a soft drink. I drink sweet tea. I don't drink that now. All I drink now is coffee, unsweet tea, and water. Lots of water. There's Pure Okie. Hey, give me those pictures of that tractor because I'm going to be doing something soon. And I'd like to take a look at your tractor before I go buy one because it's bigger than what I'm planning to buy. Yeah, we didn't grow up with candy or any of that. Even when we went to my grandparents' house, it wasn't there. We could get more at their house, but it just, nobody was into that habit. Today, mothers are forcing that crap down their kids' throats. I remember when we was kids, and we got in trouble for this. We would go into the grocery store, and they used to have a big bin of Brock's candies. And we would pick the ones on the floor up and eat them because we thought, well, they're on the floor. They're free. Nope. I don't remember. I think one of the store people said something to one of my parents, and we got in trouble for that. I don't need a real tractor here because this place isn't that big, man. I got to have something small enough where I can get around here. I get a big giant John Deere. It's not going to work for me. This is only 2 acres and only about one of it is cleared. So I need something that can dig, that has a backhoe, and that has a bucket. And that's all I need. I don't need anything to mow. I'm going to have to get a zero turn because I think my mower that I bought 8-9 years ago is on its last leg. But to get around all these trees, a zero turn would be nice. Will do as soon as you can get out. What do you don't want to get out in the ice? Come on now. It's probably going to be 2 months before I make a decision on, I don't know. We'll see. I got a lot of work I need to get done here. Well, yeah, I mean, that's basically all I'm gonna need is a front bucket and a backhoe. I do got a lot of digging I need to do, but if I could get a bigger used one, and by bigger I don't mean, I'm looking at them BX 25s or whatever, but they're pretty small. It's like a large lawnmower. So if I get something a little bigger, but if not, those will work fine too. Yeah, that sucked. I was watching the camera right when I heard the rumble, and I looked at the camera and I seen the box of ice. One landed on the hood and it didn't do anything. And then one kind of scraped down that side. See, these cars today are made to break apart like that. If you have an accident, they absorb all the energy. But that's one piece. And I already ordered it. It'll be here Monday. It just snaps in. I got to, it's just an LED fog lamp is all it is. And I can just snap the new piece in. I don't need to take it to the body shop or any of that. I won't make an insurance claim unless I have to. But it sucks. The car's I just got it in August. It's only got 3,400 miles on it. It's already got a boo-boo. Well, I should have pulled it back. But I didn't think all that was going to fall at once. I figured, like it always does, that a lot of it would melt. And I did get up there with like a rake and try to pull some of that off. There wasn't no moving that. It was stuck. But everything's off the roof, and I've got damage on the other side I got to fix, but that needed fixed anyway. Ready Whip coconut is so good. Oh, I'm supposed to spray that on the roof? Yeah, I get it, and then it'll slide off easier. Cooking oil? I don't know. We haven't had anything like this before. We've had 10 inches of snow, but it was all snow. This was ice, sleet, snow, rain, and now it's all ice. Every bit of it out there in my yard is ice. Tilly's not even out. I don't know what she's doing. She hasn't come out. I gave her a milk bone, and she acted like she didn't want to come out. Yeah, I might do that. Head out there and look at it. I don't know how I'd haul it here. I got the truck for it. Just don't have the trailer, but I could probably, depends how big it is. I could probably get a trailer. Anson's got one down the road. Ain't nothing happening in this weather, but the roads are clear. All the highways are clear. Mine's clear now. It's all blacktop. But I can't get out. My truck I could get out, but I just can't get back up in the driveway. Yep. Tilly knows when to stay in. Rooster I'm surprised she's not asked to go out. And then Lily has been out, in and out all night long. It's like she's sensing something. I have no idea. Lily is strange. There's a milk shortage in Florence, South Carolina. I will promise you, people will survive. I went to the grocery store, was that yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. Our road was absolutely terrible. And they were low on eggs, but I was able to get 2 18-packs of eggs. Because when I eat breakfast, I eat half a dozen at a time. And then I'll put cheese or I'll put meat, some kind of meat with it. But I don't eat breakfast every day. No, my truck it's even lower now because I tried it at about 4 o'clock yesterday. I figured all that stuff had melted enough. The tires are just too slick. And I'm not buying new tires for that because them tires still got a lot of tread on them. They're just not, they are all terrains, but now the tires I have on the Chevy, they would go up no problem. But that truck's terrible on this kind of stuff. Just you'd have to load the whole back end in with stuff. And trucks, pickup trucks are horrible in this weather. They just are. Unless you have a ton of weight in the back, they're terrible. That Toyota would probably get in and out. I wouldn't, but I'm not going to try it. Bobby Joe, new subscriber. Well, welcome. I got room. I've got room for 4,500 more. Then we'll go on to the 150,000 or whatever. I don't know what that matters. You know, it's just a milestone that YouTubers strive for, 100,000 subscribers. There ain't many people that make it that far. So, you know, it's an achievement, I think. I'd have never guessed I'd be even close to that. But here I am. Almost 400 people in the middle of the day. That's pretty good. Yeah, I don't think I'd buy a new truck, man. I'm not paying 80 grand, 70 grand for a new truck. And their Chevy trucks are junk now, from what I hear. I've always liked Ford. I mean, I've liked Chevy and Ford trucks, but from having this Ford, it's more dependable. The most dependable one I say that, but I've had that 92 for 14 years. So, but I don't drive that every day. But it has brand new, aggressive all-terrain tires on it because it is terrible in this kind of weather. Now, I drove that truck back and forth to the ranch for years, and that's 25 miles one way. Texas still got bad weather. Yeah, we're not getting, this stuff's going to be here at least another 3 or 4 days because we got another cold burst coming. But we don't have any more snow in the forecast, so I'm almost out of this stuff. And I'm pretty much I'm gonna wean down to the 4 milligram, or I think it's 3 milligram. But this stuff works trying to get off cigarettes or tobacco. This is espresso martini. It's my new favorite flavor. I think I got one open. I hate the lids on these. There's an arrow up here and an arrow there, and you got to line up the arrows, but I can't see them. So I took a magic marker and put a mark where they line up. Then you can pull the lid off. I got one left. But there's no tobacco in that. It's just nicotine, and it tastes good. But if you go to this, you got to remember they're in your mouth before you eat. Ask me how I know. They don't taste good. Well, by the time you discovered that you just swallowed one, it's too late. I'm still kicking. But I imagine that ain't no good. Yeah, there's a lot of bad information out there about carnivore. You know, I'm at the point where if you want to try it, I've made videos for 2 years. You can go back and see what I looked like, how I felt, and see now. You don't have to take my word for it, but if you don't want to try it, don't try it. I don't give a crap if anybody tries it. I really don't. I'm just telling you my experience. You know, I didn't make carnivore videos to convert people. I'm just showing you what it's done to me. Because I was the same way. I seen people on YouTube doing that, and I'm like, these people are crazy. Eating eggs. Just going to eat meat and eggs. Man. But it works. And you don't, people think it's a lifetime commitment. It isn't. Do it until you lose your weight. I think what it does is teaches you discipline on how to eat proper. And then when you do get off of it, still eat your meat, but just add things back that aren't going to, kill you. Yeah, I didn't want to make any more. I didn't want to go outside and make a video because I'm probably going to break my leg out there, and I'm sick of sitting in here. So I figure, well, do a live, simulcast it on both channels, because I looked at the analytics for the, I haven't done lives because before they weren't worth it. YouTube really didn't pay for it or nothing. But actually they paid more per hour or per thousand for a live than they did, because the type of videos I do don't really pay that well. That's why I do them daily. If you do when I did the homesteading type video where I was tearing down the deck, they paid twice as much as what they normally pay for a regular video. I mean, this ain't all about money, but that's what I do for a living. But they didn't pay too bad on that one live I did. So once in a while, we'll incorporate, maybe a couple times a month, we'll do live streams. That gives you guys a chance to ask questions, because I do a lot of stuff, man. Carnivore, quit drinking, all that stuff, tobacco. People are always asking questions. But if you don't have willpower, you got to at least give it a try to have some willpower. But if you've got terrible willpower, you're going to struggle with about anything that you want to change. I think we gain more willpower as we age, because we know, how bad do you want to live? We know if we can change and probably stretch our life out a little bit. We don't really know that for sure, but I don't want to live out my last 20, 30 years feeling like crap either. That's no way to live. I think there's some, brands of chocolate you can eat. Who's to say? Just because you're a strict carnivore doesn't mean you can't have something as a reward every now and then. But it can't be something that's a trigger. You can't go get a quart of ice cream and then the next day go get another half gallon or something. You have to be able to balance that. I did that my first month in carnivore. I went and got ice cream, some Ben & Jerry's ice cream, and ate it. I don't care about their politics, but the ice cream is good. Chunky monkey. And I ate it, and I paid for it. And I haven't done it again. But in the end, I'm doing this for me. I ain't doing this for any of you guys. I'm not doing this for videos. This is a decision I made to feel better and to get off all them stupid pills that were also making me feel bad. And everybody's on the same things, man. You reach a certain age, you're walking out of there with the same prescription that was given to me. It's a business. They get you in there to prescribe you these medications. It's a business. It's all about greed. They don't want to cure you. Doctors that actually want to cure you, they get ridiculed. Yeah, metformin, that's bad stuff, man. Any kind of chemicals you're putting into your body can't be good. Maybe there's conditions and medications that help people. I'm not knocking all medications, but the classic ones that are automatic these days, though, you don't have to be on those. And they make cholesterol. I still can't say it. Even with new choppers, the cholesterol medications, it's all the measurements they're telling you're supposed to meet with your blood work and all that. It's if you knew how they came to that conclusion, you probably, it doesn't matter much. Liver at stage 3. Yeah, that sucks, but I think it's never too late to change what you're eating. And there's cases where people's liver, your organs have the ability to regenerate some. I don't know these things for sure, but I can tell you I don't have any of the pains I used to have. And you got to remember, I was drinking some whiskey, man. I was drinking whiskey also. So a lot of the way that I feel better is due to that as well, that I quit drinking. But man, my blood pressure was horrible. My blood sugar was horrible, and got all those under control now. And yeah, I was on the statins too. And when I was on that stuff, I was horrible at taking that. I would forget, wouldn't take, I'd forget or go 2 days and forget to take it. And then I got one of those stupid pill things and I'd forget to fill it. And I'm glad I don't have to deal with that no more. When I had the dental work done, they prescribed me 3 different things. I did the mouthwash. It's just a mouthwash, I think, with an antibiotic in it, and I'm done with that. Then they gave me oxycodone. I never took those. They're in my emergency cabinet, emergency pain. I got them. And then ibuprofen. I took the ibuprofen for a couple of days, but I didn't have any pain. I had I wouldn't say zero pain, but it was pain that to me wasn't much. Other people, are more sensitive to pain. I'm not. I've been through so many painful things that a toothache was a hell of a lot worse than whatever I had going on there. It really wasn't pain. It was just tenderness. And I was terrified of getting this done, man. I was dreading this. When I was sitting in that chair before they put me under, I was kind of trembling because I don't have good memories of any kind of dental work. Nobody does. It sucks. I felt nothing. And you're not completely out because maybe I was waking up or whatever. They say you're not completely out, and I could feel them fumbling around in there, but I didn't feel any pressure. I didn't feel any pain. I could hear them talking, and I kind of remember trying to talk back. They just put me out. They hadn't had my mouth open or nothing. They just put me out, and that's the next thing I know, I'm done. Are we still live here? I hadn't seen that chat move. I don't know what's going on. Okay. I wonder how long it's been doing that. The chat wasn't moving. So I probably missed a bunch of questions. But I do go back and read all these questions and stuff. I read your comments. Okay, I'm still alive. Yeah, the chat window just quit going. But people were putting things in there. It took a half an hour. I think a half an hour, 40 minutes. That was it, man. And the surgeon, I didn't go to a regular dentist. I went to an oral surgeon. They're a lot more trained. And the guy I would be surprised if he was 27, 28 years old. So I was a little nervous, but that's the kind of young people I like to see. This guy was very good at what he did. I'm sure he probably did 10 a day, but I sought out the best. I didn't go in who made the teeth and all that. I paid extra for the better ones because I don't want to go through this crap too many times. And they fit great. They just need a little adjusting, but I like them. It's weird. They feel like they're your own. The top ones do. They just feel like I got all my teeth again. It's great. Technically, no fruits, but if you eat ketovore, I was never a fruit person anyway. I do put lemon juice in my tea when I eat my dinner. Only when I eat my dinner. I don't know why. I just when you drink unsweet tea all the time, you want to change it up a little bit. I figure a little lemon juice ain't going to hurt nothing. Yep. And my eye doctor, he Well, let's just put it this way. He graduated optometrist school in 1963, and he's still practicing and working every single day. He's got to be 85. And I've been going to him for 10 years. He hasn't got it wrong yet. But man, I mean, and I talked to the ladies that work in there with him. And I'm like, when's he going to retire? He doesn't have any plans to. Hey, man, if you got successful practice and you still feel good, why not? He likes doing it. Man. And he has all the modern, when you go to an eye doctor, all they're really doing is putting the things in there. Can you see better with A? Can you see better with B? A, B, B. That's all they're doing. And then they look at your scans and all that. But the girls in the office or the people in the office are doing all the work. And, grab my new glasses, man, because, he picked, I said, doctor, you pick them out. And he did. I can see great. These are growing on me, by the way. They are growing. These are podcaster glasses, man. You see all these talking videos now, Glenn Beck and all them. These actually have plastic lenses in them. They're not real. They're not cheap props. Weird. I would wear these, I think, at home. I need to get a pair of reading glasses like these. I do. As soon as I can get out, I am going to go get some new glasses. I don't know where my glasses are, but they put those bifocals in there. I hate those things. I don't need to read. I don't need reading glasses. They say I do, but I don't. I can pick things up and read them. Maybe my eyes did improve last time. A lot. Blame that on carnivore, I guess. And he said, yes, eyes will change from time to time, but you had a pretty good improvement. So, and I wear contacts. So contacts supposedly keep your eyes from getting worse. Am I froze? Man, don't be saying stuff if it ain't it says I'm live. Eggs are great for eyesight. Man, eggs, anything that comes from a chicken is good for you. That's an amazing animal. You can eat the chicken. The chicken makes food for you. It's better to have them laying eggs, so you got a constant supply of food. But if you have to, you can eat the chicken. But everything in eggs, everything is good for you. The guy I work for, he's raised chickens 70 years. He's 83, still walks like he's 40. Eats eggs every morning, his own eggs. But when he doesn't this breed of chickens does not lay eggs all year. Some people get in and say, oh yeah, they do. No, they don't. These are a jungle bird. But when he can't get his own eggs, he buys Eggland's Best, and I don't like those. Have I thought about meat bird? Yeah, man, I worked doing that stuff for a living. I don't want to do it here. I don't want to do it. I know how to do it. So if times get hard, yes, I'll get a bunch of chickens and things to raise. But if I can buy it in the grocery store now, I'm going to buy it in the grocery store. Because you got to feed them. It's just me. If I had a family, yes, I would have a bunch of chickens and raise hogs and all this. But it's me. It's just me. So it really don't make a lot of sense to supply the feed for I can only eat so much. Maybe I'm wrong. That's just how I feel. Man, here comes the plow again. And that guy following behind him. I love my cameras. If I didn't have there are my windows, because I don't have very many windows. So I've got cameras on every portion of my house and back in the property, even in the well house. But I can look up here and click and see what's going on. I can go back 24 hours and see. I don't even do that anymore because there's a lot of weird things that happen in this house, and I don't want to see it. You guys have seen a few on camera, but it don't bother me. I'm not afraid of nothing. And there's the chat's froze up again. Man, what is going on? Okay, here it went. So it's that StreamYard. If I don't move it, it's not going up automatically. All right, let me look at your chat, see if there's any questions I missed. What are my thoughts on the Whitaker family in Odd, West Virginia? Yeah, I think, well, that started on, what's his name, Soft White Underbelly. And at first, I think he intentionally did that to get views, and he did. He got views. Then I think I don't know if he kept doing it. I think he was good to them, but that's where it should have ended. Then these other yahoos jumped in, and now they're split up. I mean, they were doing fine all these decades without YouTubers coming in. Sometimes YouTubers go in and ruin things. And yeah, maybe those people needed medical help. Maybe they have the problems they have are not going to be cured by putting them in homes. And that's an example of the government stepping in where they shouldn't. There's times where the government should step in, but then there's times that, these are adults and they had people in their family that was looking after them. So, now look where they're at. Those people that got removed from the home, they're not coming back. But that's when, unfortunately, sometimes YouTubers go out and do but then again, then look what happened with this Minnesota fraud thing. And it ain't just Minnesota. They've got these daycares and these hospice and transportation companies set up all over the country. They need to go state by state and discover this. And I can't believe it's at the scale it's at. Stealing from us, man, taxpayers. But it's into the billions. We haven't even scraped the surface on this yet. How many daycares do you need? And the thing of it is, these Somalis don't put their kids in daycare. And that is one, I'm a guy that everybody has the right to have a good life, but those people are evil. They are evil. I'm sorry. You ain't never going to change my mind on Somali people. They don't need to be here. We need to get every single one of them out of the country, and especially that Olan Amar, or whatever her name is. I mean, that woman is. I don't even want to get started on that. How you even get elected in this country when you're from another country? I don't understand that. It should not happen. At least not from there. Well, that's what I said. It's every state has some sort of fraud like that. I'll guarantee you, it's not a secret just to that state. California probably has a lot more going on because they have a lot more immigrants. We'll find out. I can't give an opinion on it until I, see the facts. I guarantee you they will get to the bottom of it. They have to. Yep. If you came over here, I don't care what anybody thinks. If you came over here illegal the last 4 years or whenever, you need to go and go through the process the proper way where people have done it for 250 years. We're not a growing country anymore. We have enough people. And we don't need people coming over here living off taxpayer money. And a lot of them, the Mexican people come over here, they work. Okay. There are some that come from other countries that work and that do a good job, and they do jobs people don't want to do. I've never had any trouble with Mexicans coming over here and working. But now you're ruining it for them too, because all these other people, and these people were coming in from China. They were coming in from the Middle East. They would fly into South America and make their way up with the rest of them. I watched the videos of these people coming across the border. Very few were from Mexico. You know, we don't mind them if they're legal, but we can't support the whole world coming in here either. Well, I don't think Doge, he said Doge never discovered the Somalis. I don't think they operated long enough to get to that, but I think they probably, you know, that was something that state was hiding, and all states that are doing this are hiding. Somebody with the Somalis, somebody is behind this that is not Somali, because they're just not bright enough to figure this out. I'm sorry. They don't know the American system well enough to figure this out. Somebody is using them to make money, and they're making money in the process. And I'm not against people coming here and working jobs and paying taxes, but the way the system has been set up, a lot of them don't do that. I worked with a lot of people from different countries, and they do good work, and they're dependable. They work hard, but that's not what we're seeing anymore. Yeah, Africans coming in. I mean, there's places I was watching YouTube channel. What is that? Kurt and Snow. They're over in Africa. I never realized how nice South Africa. I mean, you go to West Africa, East Africa, it's a whole different story. But you go to like Cape Town, man, I would love to go visit that place. It's modern, nice. But that East Africa or West Africa, man, they would drive through these towns and these roads where these people carrying all this stuff on their heads. I can imagine. But I know, you know, being carnivore, I noticed one thing. A lot of these people, man, they're not fat. Maybe they're not eating as good as us, but they just don't have the foods that we do. I don't know why that has to do with anything. Something that bothers me is the veterans. Yeah, but I'll tell you about that. You know, if veterans want help, it's there. A lot of them don't seek it. The VA does a lot for people, but you have to go through the process. It's not easy, you know, but you have to go through the proper channels. A lot of these veterans, they don't do that, and they won't do it. And you know, you can't. I will say that the VA will help you with whatever you need, depending on your status with the military. Yeah, the VA doctors and mine does not like that I'm on carnivore. Of course, no doctor does. Basically, all I do with the VA, you know, I go to get my annual blood work. That's kind of required. They did set me up with the CPAP. I tried that last night for the first time in 2 weeks since I had the teeth removed, and I couldn't do it. I took it off after about a half an hour. I don't know what's up with that, but I've been sleeping 7 hours, man, without it. Maybe I'll try it again tomorrow, but maybe I'll go to the nose mask because I cannot stand wearing that thing. It just drives me crazy. And my chest started hurting. After I took it off, I could feel it in my lungs. So something ain't set right in there. My dad's been helping me with that. We adjusted it down, the pressure in that, and it was better, but something ain't right with it. What are you barking at, Lily? Oh, the mail. And I got packages coming. They're not going to get delivered. If they don't fit in the mailbox, they're not going to get delivered. Because she can't get up my driveway. Even if she could, my truck's parked there, stuck. I've had sleep apnea for years, and I've never had it, but I'm not going to give up on it. But I don't know. Hey, there's nothing out there. That's Lily. And Lily, all she does is fake barking, just like you. Fake barking. Well, how long we been on here? We'll go a little longer. There's still people in here. Well, what the post office will do, they won't bring it. They'll take it back. They'll leave a note in the mailbox. I got a couple of little lamps coming today. I ordered some from my parents. They're cool. They're just LED rechargeable lamps, and they'll last for like a week unplugged. So if you have a power outage, you have little table, like nightstand lamps. And so I ordered them, 4 of them, and I ordered 2, and they're just nice to have. There's a tractor behind my truck. Hang on, guys. You gotta see what they're doing here. Whoop, that's the wrong mouse. Give me a second. Give me a second, guys. I'll be right back. I hope my truck didn't fall or slide. What's going on, Rooster? Oh, okay. No, it's a tractor, and they've got firewood on the forks, and some of the firewood fell off, but they were right behind my truck, and I was hoping they didn't disturb that ground there. I got to get out there, and it sucks because my driveway, when I come in, you can go straight. There is a pasture next to me, and that is their access. And then to get into my house, it curves up the hill. And I just got to where it curves. I have to get up to that part so the tractor can get in and out. So that's what sucks about having one of them. I can't think right away driveways. I can't think of the name of it. But they're gone. That's all that was. Let me get my mouse here. This chat's not moving because I'm not moving it. There's Debbie Drop. Loose Screw Ranch. So you guys are getting a video because I'm bored and my coffee is cold. I don't mind cold coffee. I wish I could get my ex-wife deported, but she was born here. Are you live? Nope. This is pre-recorded. Pre-recorded. I'm not live. Well, in the back of my pickup that's stuck on the hill, there's 600 pounds of sand in sandbags. I didn't put them in there for the snow. I put them in there because when you're hauling propane or you're hauling anything, you can just put the sandbags up against the tanks and they won't roll around. So I always keep sandbags in the back of my truck because you don't have to strap a lot of things down. They're nice to have, but in an emergency, you can open the sandbags and use the sand. It's just not that big of a deal. It doesn't have to come up the hill. Tell us a ghost story. You don't want to hear about that one. Well, when I worked in Sapulpa, Oklahoma, I've told this before. I worked at a newspaper, Sapulpa, Oklahoma, and it was downtown. It's in an old building downtown, and they owned the building next door. And it used to be the old Indian drunk tank. When the Indians got drunk, and if anybody's Native American, don't be, my father's Native American. When the Indians got drunk, because, Indians cannot handle alcohol. I grew up around Native Americans. They cannot handle alcohol. They would throw them in there. I guess a few people died in there. And that was our newsprint warehouse. So if we wanted newsprint for the press, it's Sapulpa Herald. We wanted newsprint, we would have to go over there get on the forklift, bring the rolls over to where the press was, and bring them in. And it was a Monday night. We had to stay late on Monday night. And I'd already heard all the stories. And the door was open. It was a big garage door. It was already open. We'd leave it open while we were working. So I walked over there to get on the forklift to get a couple rolls of newsprint. And when I come around the corner to the garage door, there was an old guy walking across. And I yelled at him, "Hey, man," because there was a few, homeless type people in the area, but not bad. So, "What are you doing in here?" And this dude turns and looks at me, and he walked right through a stone wall. I didn't get on that forklift. I ran in there, went into the office, the production manager. She had been there 35 years or so. She's seen it all. And she goes, "What? You look like you've seen a ghost." I said, "I think I did." And I told her what happened, and she laughed and says, "Yeah, he's been around a little bit, and there's been a lot of other things. You would be working, and you'd just see a roll of newsprint just roll on its own." I didn't really believe in any of that stuff, but one of the writers up front heard about it, and he got some paranormal team to come in. And let me tell you, they went in there all night long, and it was some of the freakiest stuff I've ever seen and heard. They captured music in that warehouse and voices talking. They got orbs all over, and man, and even in the building, because a couple of people had died in the newspaper office. And that's the biggest thing I'd seen. But it was Sapulpa downtown. See, she knows Sapulpa. It's old and spooky, and right above that warehouse is apartments that had not been lived in since 1975. And when she took us up there one day, I wished I was doing YouTube, because I could probably, still go do this. But 1975 calendars on the wall, and dishes and cups still in the cupboards, old couches in these. There was like 6 apartments, and it was old look. A grand staircase that goes up there, and it's still up there. And the publisher's like, "Well, you guys could fix one of these up and live up here." And I'm like, "Are you out of your mind? I ain't living up here." And there was another place in Denver. It's actually in a movie with, let me think, Al Pacino, and he just died a little bit ago. It's called The Scarecrow, and it's called Turk's Supper Club, and it was right next to the Denver Post where I worked, and it's old. And it was an old supper club from like the 20s and 30s, and Al Capone used to go in there. Al Capone used to hang out in Denver, and there were tunnels under this bar. I seen them. They were caved in, but there were tunnels where they would run the liquor. And upstairs was an apartment, and that's where they filmed that movie. And I had a chance to fix that up and rent it, and I declined. So, yeah, places you get the feeling that Gene Hackman. That was a weird movie, but that was one of Al Pacino's. And it still had the same booth that they sat in the movie. It's torn down now. I looked on Google Maps, and they tore it down, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. But we used to go in there at lunchtime. Yeah. Pressman would go have beer for lunch, as many as we could slam down, and then go back to work. We'd go in there before work too. That's how it was, man. I missed some. Yeah, and Spulpa's on Route 66. I grew up in that area. That's where I grew up, West Tulsa, Spulpa. So that's the area I grew up in. Robin knows where the old supper club was. Yep, right there on Fox Street, right there at that corner. It's there's like shipping containers there now. But it wasn't in the best area of town, but that's, I used to walk all around there. But there was a lot of history in that place. And then when I lived in Miami Beach, I was packing up a house for a friend. It was a McMansion. It used to be a mansion, but by today's standards, no. Her mother committed suicide in that house, and there was a lot of freaky things that went on. Nothing I seen. Boxes would fall over and move with certain items inside of them, and there would be knocks on the wall. You know, put it this way: I slept with the TV and the light on. But that kind of thing it doesn't scare me now. I don't know why. I just don't have no fear of that. I would imagine if a knife came flying through the air in the middle of the night, I might be a little worried, but yeah, that was back when Denver was sane. I used to love Denver, man. I would walk home a lot of times, downtown Denver, but that same route now is just nothing but drug addicts and homeless people. I wouldn't even attempt that now. Yep, that's right, Gene Hackman. I never really cared for him. I mean, we see movies and stuff with characters in them, and some actors we like and we don't. I never really liked him. He was good in his movies. He was good in that Western where he was always the bad guy, or the gruffy guy. I wouldn't say he was one of my favorite actors. I liked Al Pacino a lot more than Gene Hackman. Well, if you've never seen that movie, The Scarecrow, check it out. It's pretty good, though. It's like an indie movie, like an indie type movie. I don't watch, Unforgiven. I don't watch new movies now. There's too much crap in them. And I don't like, I've tried to watch some in the past, I don't know, a year, but I don't like, they're like filming in 4K like I do. And I don't, for a movie that just don't look right. I can't watch a movie that looks like that. I don't know what it is. Oh, what a nice surprise to see you. What's the occasion? The occasion is I can't walk outside. It's an ice sheet and I'm bored. And I don't feel like sitting here coming up with an idea for a video. Did they ever find out what happened to him? Well, I think she died, and then he was dependent on her care, is what happened. She died because they had hantavirus. Too many mice. You would think with the money they had, they would have been able to afford pest control. Oh, Al Pacino is a great actor. I just don't want to know their political views, man. They ruined it by letting everyone know what their political views are. Like Robert De Niro. I used to like him in the movies. I can't stand that dude anymore. I ain't gonna watch nothing he's in. And that's the way it should be for everybody today. We shouldn't have to tell everybody what our political opinions are. And that's that's the problem today. Everybody is too political. If I thought of intermittent fasting, yeah, I answered that earlier. I just haven't done it yet. I guess the time to do it would have been when I had my teeth removed, but I didn't. But I'll get into that. De Niro was the same guy in every movie. Yeah. You're talking to me? Wait a minute. I don't know if I can do them now with these. Got to have the mole. Nah, I don't do that. Robert Dog Niro. I ain't doing them no more. Strange unmarked black truck out front. Yep, they're going to get you. We'll see you later, Robin. She's got to get going. I like Clint Eastwood. Jimmy Stewart. Yeah. Well, it ain't just Hollywood. It's all the sports. You guys seen the video. If you've seen the video I did about why I don't watch sports anymore, that's one of the reasons. They got to bring politics into it. It doesn't belong in that. Yeah, Will Smith. Don't want nothing to do with him. That pretty much ruined him, I think. I don't know. I don't pay no attention to what movies are coming out. I couldn't tell you what movies are out now. And I can tell you this, they're hurting. A lot of these production companies are going broke. We don't need it anymore. People get more entertainment out of watching. We create our own entertainment now. YouTube, man, I wish I could have invented YouTube back. I'd be a gazillionaire. Can you imagine how much money they pay out every month? Because some of these channels, I mean, if you got 1 million subscribers, you're making a lot of money. You're a millionaire. And they're paid, but only, I think it was 1 or 2% of all YouTube channels are over 100,000 subscribers. So I know when you're small, 5, 10,000 subscribers, you're lucky to make 400 or 500 a month. But when you start getting views, it's not subscribers. You have to get consistent views to make money at YouTube. I mean, you could have 5,000 subscribers, and if you're getting 50,000 views on every video, you're doing as well as somebody that's getting 100,000 subscribers. It just depends. And then there's channels, man, they try, and they just for some reason, YouTube doesn't. And YouTube is, believe me, you're working with an algorithm, and if you don't play by their rules, they're not putting your videos out to people. Watch college sports, not pro. I never really got into college anything. Just never did. I was never a big fanatic anyway. I would watch football on Sundays, and that was basically it. I didn't go crazy about it. I didn't buy the jerseys, and I didn't buy the hats and all that stuff. And I know a lot of people do. I just never seen the point in wearing another man's jersey on my back, having another man's. I've never got that. I'm not going to walk around with somebody else's name on the back of my shirt. How much money does YouTube take? Well, say I make a video and they pay you a CPM, and they're going to pay the way it works is you upload a video, and supposedly advertisers bid on your video to place ads. Whatever the highest bid is what the price is set. So if I make a video, let's just use $20. They're going to pay me $20, or they're going to pay YouTube $20 for every 1,000 views. Out of that 20, I might get 10. I might get 7. I might get 13 or 14. It just depends. But they do take, I believe 45%. It's their sandbox, it's their platform. If they didn't have YouTube, I mean, who's going to complain? They're paying me to put videos on there, and they're making money on my videos. And, I think that's why when you start getting more views on your videos, they share to more people. Because I've noticed that my minimum views are going up, and, but you still have to have a good subject. If you come up with a crappy subject, like I put that sling blade thing up on my other channel, Dogman, yesterday. Humorous videos don't get views. People aren't humorous anymore. I don't know why I did it. I didn't have a video on that channel yesterday, and I figured I'd do it, have a little fun. It might have made one person laugh that needed to laugh. It's my channel. I'll do what I want. It didn't hurt me. I lost like 5 subscribers. I figured they were the ones that, do wear blue hair and nose rings. Well, yeah, goodbye for now. I think we'll cut her off here. It's almost an hour and a half. Maybe Rooster wants to go out. I'm going to see if the snow softened up where I can walk on it. But I appreciate you guys coming. A pretty good turnout for no. Oh man, thank you for that. That wasn't necessary, but I appreciate that. Uh, but I don't ask you guys for anything, but that's appreciated. I'll donate that probably to the dog rescue, but that's what I do. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me. Maybe we'll do this more often. We'll see how it works out. It's a lazy alternative for me doing videos, but we'll get back to the regular videos. Thanks for watching. Happy trails.